Welcome to Team Reptile Adventures. Team Reptile had an opportunity this summer to explore Paradise, Michigan that is. We were all very excited about going up to Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula. As we approached the mighty Mackinac Bridge, we were tempted to take the old Team Reptile boat across the straits, but decided to play it safe and just haul it across the bridge. Well, we finally arrived. We're here in Paradise, Michigan. We're about to explore some area here. We've got a chance to see some wolves up close. We've got a chance to see some bears up close. And who knows what else we'll find when it comes to reptile and amphibian life. But we've been really fortunate to hook up with a place called Curly's up here. And they've set us up here with a house. These guys are fantastic. I've spent some time in this house right here before, and I love it. And you couldn't ask for a better place for Team Reptile. And they are definitely going to be taking care of us, and we really appreciate everything they're doing for us. So we're going to head on out and start exploring. The first stop is going to be with some wolves. Well, our first stop here in Paradise, Michigan is at Timberwolf Wilderness Adventures. And Shan and Lynn McDougall take care of some Timberwolves here. There's actually 3 of them that they've adopted, and they have housed here in back. And they try to educate the public about this great animal that we have that actually roams around here in Michigan. In fact, there's approximately 300 here up that run wild within the UP. And we're going to get to go back, take a look at them. Shan has been doing this for quite some time. And Lynn is actually also an author, which has got this fantastic book here that I got to read through, and it's going to help us out tremendously on some of our searches up here, especially for moose. The elusive moose that I've never been able to see in the wild and I've always wanted to. And it's called The Complete Tracker, and it's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. It's going to help us out. In fact, Len has guaranteed me now I will find a moose. No, not necessarily. He didn't guarantee me that, but I'm really hoping that we do. Now, Len and Shan have been nice enough to bring us back to the pen here where we're going to get to actually get up close with these wolves. This is not something that I would recommend to other people. These wolves have accepted Shan into the pack, and you know, when we get the chance to go in, everything, we're very careful about it. Everything is handled, you know, very, very detailed about everything we're going to do to make sure our safety and the wolves' safety is obviously the top priority. If you get a chance to come up here, definitely, it's worthwhile. It's a very educational experience, and you can contact these guys. They have a number of different things they do here, and I really recommend it. But don't expect to be able to get into the pen like we're about to do. So let's head on back and let's get in there with those wolves. Have you guys seen any wild wolf up in this area at all or not?
I have seen wild wolves on the road. I'm a paramedic down in St. Ignace.
Oh, okay.
And so when I go back and forth to work, a lot of times on 75 you'll see them because there are packs that run frequently through that area.
Really?
There are wild wolves in this area. I don't think they spend a lot of time here. They just kind of go through. We've heard them, but we haven't seen them. So they're well fed. A wolf in the wild probably won't look as well fed as these guys. They receive 1 out of 10 kills is all.
Oh, okay.
A pack will hunt 10 times before they'll make a kill. That's the average, of course, but so they're not as lucky as their captive counterparts here. They're also more susceptible to injury and diseases. The wolves that hunt larger prey like moose or caribou or something, well, even white-tailed deer can injure, but when they kick and, resist the attack, then they receive broken bones and lacerations and what have you, and so they have to deal with that out in the wild. Consequently, a wild wolf, the average lifespan is about 9-10 years old.
Wow. There's my keys.
It was nice knowing you, big fella.
Yeah.
I was up wiring this top tension wire once on a ladder. I dropped my pliers and decided that I didn't even bother. I just went and got another.
Oh, the blood. I forgot about the blood. Is that a problem? All right.
No.
We got them a
There
couple
he
days
goes.
later.
He's up
The
your
thing was down to this steel. They just carried them around until they got
Isn't that going to come visit?
What you
But if
doing?
you chase them, they
Just
love it.
sniffing.
They'll run all day and all night.
Oh, yeah. Cody, you're embarrassing. He's just got to check you all over.
We'll try to get the camera for someone. You see me? It's all right.
You gonna be nice, Kenai?
Kenai will be nice. I don't think he'll come too near.
Whoop. Gonna pet? Usually, when he's ready.
He's fine.
So you can see I'm actually standing right inside here, being checked out by one of the wolves. One of them's still a little bit nervous. Well, actually, two of them seem a little nervous around me, but one more than the other. Looking for something in my pocket, but there's nothing in there. But what an experience this is. I've, for one thing, even in zoos, the closest I've ever come to seeing a wolf in a zoo is basically watching them sit in the shade in a distance within a fenced-in area. But to actually have them come up and walk around me and and sniff my back and just kind of check me out. Now, I couldn't wear my hat in here. I know you viewers at home are not used to seeing my great hairdo here, but I've been told that these guys would actually take my hat and probably keep it and wear it. More fascinated with the camera than with me. All right? It's all right?
It's all right.
Zap. Much bigger than I ever expected. So I'm used to seeing coyotes, and which are obviously a much smaller animal, and that's one of the ways to tell the difference between the two. I know is the size, and that is definitely very obvious to me now because I've been pretty close to coyotes before, and they have a wolf standing right next to me, and after putting their feet up on my shoulders and realizing just how big they really are when they stand up. It would definitely be no problem for this wolf to take me down if it really wanted to. Yeah. He seemed like he kept coming up a little closer, and then when I pointed when I was talking, he kind of backed off a little bit.
He's pushing to see how far he can come in. He won't bite you, but he likes to see how far he
I
can.
don't know. He's bitten me.
Well, that's great. As long as it's just a hand or something. No
He
jugular.
has to get a lot more familiar with you, but he's been known to come up and nip people he knows on the butt.
Really?
Which is unpleasant.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
I'm
not
sure.
anything that requires medical attention, but it's unpleasant.
Yeah.
Leaves a bruise.
I can put my hand up there and they can.
Yeah, you're
Inside
fine.
my shirt.
1,500
Just
pounds
going
of
up
jaw
my
pressure, exceeded only by the pit bull and the canine.
What is it?
As the wolves became more accustomed to having me in with them, we decided it was time to bring in another Team Reptile member.
Part of the problem is you can't throw him down as if he were a
Right,
dog, because then he
yeah.
resents
now?
it.
Down,
Like
please.
me?
It's like maybe you don't know who I am. I'm Cody.
Hey, it's
Likes
okay.
the-
I
Bracelet. We'd like to check that
Yeah.
forgot. I forgot. Oh, that's
Yes,
yummy.
anything hang you down or loose, he'll steal it if he can.
Get that. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Paws, 'cause we have long nails.
Woo, he's got him.
Okay? Are you through jumping now?
Good? You
He's
good?
like, nope, I'm coming back.
You can lick me all you want.
That's a good boy. Well, that was eventful, huh?
You didn't hurt me.
He's coming back to bite my shoe and stuff
Yeah.
again, or my shorts.
Somewhere along the line, if you could mention that because these animals are in captivity here, it doesn't mean that we sanction people keeping them. In fact, I I'm against people keeping wolves. If they're used educationally, like we try to do, that's one thing. They're ambassadors to their species. But for people to think that wolves make good pets, that's not at all true. You can't train them like a dog. You can't expect them to be a dog. You can't keep them in dog-type enclosures. It's just not good. And we, together, can't leave together. We go for the day, but we can never go overnight. So one of us is here all the time simply because you don't know what, there are still some bad attitudes about wolves, what people might come and do while we're gone, or if something happens to one of them, no one else can get in here and work with them to take care of the injury or the illness. So we don't go anywhere together. And it's tough. It's a big responsibility, and it's a lifelong responsibility to them. I would never take these animals and say to somebody else, well, I don't want them anymore. Here, can you take them? Zoo or whatever. These animals are bonded to me because I bottle fed them. They think of me as part of their pack, and I just could never, give the responsibility to someone else. They're not good pets.
Well, I assume it costs a decent amount too to feed them and take care of them.
It does.
You would think.
We've never differentiated between just the wolves and the dogs, but the food that we feed, you get a 40-pound bag and it costs $30, and we go through one of those a week, maybe more, plus all the meat that we feed. If we have to buy chicken, that's probably 6 pounds or better, 6 to 8 pounds of chicken a day for the wolves. In the fall, when firearm season starts, I go to deer processors and pick up all the scrap I can, which helps, and then we freeze it and feed it to them through the winter. So that helps a lot, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to go find food for them because they do need to eat meat. If you try to feed them just dog food, they're not going to be a healthy animal. They're meat eaters. They've got to have it.
Now, and this might even seem kind of like a goofy question, but you always hear about a lone wolf, and we were talking earlier about the packs and how they run in packs. How can a lone wolf come about, and is there a possibility they're going to be able to join up with a new pack? Does that ever occur?
A lone wolf is a dispersing wolf. It came from a pack, obviously. When the young wolves grow into adulthood, oftentimes there'll be a couple of them that decide to go off on their own. They strike out on their own, or they've been chastised for whatever reason and kicked out of the pack, so to speak. So they're wandering around, and what they're looking for is they're looking for a mate. And usually they'll find a mate, and then you have the start of a new pack. Sometimes they'll join into an existing pack, but existing packs don't accept other adult wolves very readily. Packs are made up of family members for the most part. Occasionally it happens, but not real frequently. Usually that lone wolf finds his own mate and starts a new pack of his own, stakes out his own territory.
A lone wolf dispersing from a family pack usually to establish its own pack and find a mate. It can subsist by itself by feeding on rodents, mice, voles, ground squirrels, red squirrels, and they're usually pretty effective at it. When we were researching wolves in the Lower Peninsula, there was one dispersing wolf that had a habit of chasing red squirrels out onto the ice of a frozen lake. And there'd be 2 sets of tracks going out and only the wolves coming back. So they can subsist on just a diet of smaller animals and rodents.
How old are each of the wolves?
Cody was born in April, and he is 9 years old this year. Nahani was born in April, he's 8, and Kenai was born in April, and he is 6. When Kenai was born, he was solid black. So you can see he's lightened up over the years. And wolves will do that. Even the typical gray coloration, as they become older and older, they get lighter and lighter, and may even turn almost white or just a cream color when they lose most of the dark markings. But Kenai lightened up really quickly. He's also part Arctic wolf, so he's kind of a mix between the Timberwolf and the Reptile.
Hello. You like my elbow? Huh?
There he
Oh.
goes.
Careful.
Okay.
Cody.
Careful.
Cody, oh, you alright?
Get you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He scratched
Oh,
you?
he
Or?
didn't scratch me. It was in
Oh,
his
that's
nose.
just chalk. Yeah, it's brown or something. I thought he got your.
No,
I
that's
thought he
just,
cut you, but nope.
just
That's
from
just.
his nose.
How'd that feel?
Mmm.
How'd it taste after
Love
having
that.
a dog biscuit?
That nose dirt in the mouth.
It's like kissing your husband, isn't it?
Oh,
After he did Team Reptile stuff.
A group of pups is born. The female will stay with those pups in the den for quite a while. I believe it's up to a couple of weeks before she'll actually go off. And after that, when she's ready, she'll start going out, and they'll have the babysitters come in. And the babysitters will stick around, watch the pups, and the female may go off on a hunt or whatever she wants to do. So the other animals, the aunts, the uncles, brothers, sisters, whatever, will come in and actually babysit the pups. And if the rest of the pack has gone on a hunt and the pups are of age to start eating meat, which happens around 3 weeks old, the pack members come back and actually regurgitate the meat that they've eaten, so the pups start eating. Or if an older member is sick or injured and can't go on the hunt, they'll even come back and they'll regurgitate for that member. So they try to take care of themselves in that aspect. Or they'll feed the other members that are unable to go after the food. And it's funny because they can eat a lot of meat in a sitting, and they'll just get huge bellies. I've seen these guys do the same thing. A huge belly, and then they just lay for hours and hours and nap. And then they're up and off again.
Are these guys pretty protective of you now, too?
They're not protective. We talk about this a lot with people. Wolves, you know, I've had people call me and say, do you sell them, do you breed them? I'd like them for guard dogs. I'd like a wolf dog for a guard dog. Wolves are not guard animals. They love their family members, but they won't protect them to the point where you know, someone couldn't come in and injure them.
I wasn't looking for him. Just there camping over the spring break.
Now, what does that mean when he's got his ears down like that?
Oh, he's fine.
4 days
Does
prior
that usually mean something in the wild, though, or
He's
not?
got a wary stance.
crossing.
Okay.
Not real trusting at this point. But he's not being submissive. When you see the tail hanging straight down like that,
We're pretty adamant that
he's
they knew
just-
what a wolf looked like.
he's a little wary.
The DNR
If he were
dispatch,
submissive,
all
you'd see his
biologists,
tail
and a guy
tucked between
named
his
Jeff
legs.
Lounsbury,
And
You see the tail straight up in the air. He's being very dominant. And Kenai
came
likes to
back,
do
they
that.
patrolled
He,
the shoreline.
I'm thinking that one day he may challenge Cody for the dominant
Well, we went in
position.
backpack.
Really?
We weren't
Cody's
really
pretty
looking, but
quiet and pretty easy
wouldn't it be
ruling.
cool if there were wolves there?
Kenai
We were
tries
there
to
for
push
8
him
days.
around
Fourth night in.
sometimes, but Cody takes so much of it and then he puts him in his place.
now, what about
Even if I wasn't,
the other one?
Nahani,
Nahani,
in
that's
a
right.
normal pack would be the Omega wolf.
we were a long way from
And which one is the
lowest
Omega?
on the pecking order.
The lowest, okay. Now, why is that? Just,
4 feet of snow on the ground. So everything's
Just the
kind of
personalities that develop
huh.
as they're growing
the
up.
next year,
Okay.
It was excellent when Kenai was brought in as a small pup. Nahani was the babysitter and pretty much raised him, as would happen in a wild pack. And a lot of times the Omega wolf is the wolf that does a lot of the babysitting and taking
Then I
care
got
of
the
the pups when
Odawa
the pack
dog,
is
which
out
Travis
hunting.
used, Angel Odawa Indian.
They are also
Gave me
usually
a
the most
couple of
playful
biologists.
wolf, but they are the most chastised wolf. They're the last ones to
Well, I
eat.
had 3 through the year, but ended up
Is it possible to re-challenge? Like, say that Cody lost the alpha male position and then wanted it back.
I was just cracking.
Can they take it
I
back?
think that's pretty unusual that happens.
Okay.
It's kind of a rare. A lot of times what will happen is, like I said, the younger members, the younger
Eventually,
male for the alpha male position coming up into the pack will challenge an older animal. And as Cody gets older, I'm sure that Kenai will challenge him. And to
And the
keep any
DNR
injuries from happening, what we'll do is
actually, without doing anything,
eventually
that would
maybe
be
have to
legally
close
actionable,
off a section because I don't want
pretty
any
much called me a
injuries
false
going
flag.
on.
So Watson's come in. We've already said that we can't afford to lose our boat driver, but we are willing to take the chance because somebody did just apply to be a boat driver for us. So if we lose Watson to the wolf. But anyways, not that there's even a threat of that. But you get a little nervous coming in here. I was a little nervous for my first couple minutes. I was just talking about that. But Watson seems to be doing all right. He doesn't look too stiff. Although I think if we pushed him backwards, he wouldn't even bend at all right now.
Cody?
You all right?
Yeah, I just don't want the...
Oh, the shirt? Yeah, you don't want to rip your Team Reptile shirt. What would we do? Cody doesn't seem all that thrilled with Watson, as most people are with him. Oh, how you doing? He just jumped up on him on the back.
Cody, I'm sorry, Nahani and Kenai are half brothers. Same mother, different father, born different year.
Just as Watson was becoming more comfortable with the wolves, Cody decided to come up and give him a nice big surprise.
Are you okay? Okay.
You gonna be all right?
Cody, what's
You gonna survive?
We're friends.
Let's do it again, so just be prepared. You can stick your arms out in front and catch his paws.
He's fascinated because something must be coming up,
I
maybe.
think Lynn's coming
Yeah, with some biscuits.
What-
Set him on Watson's forehead.
What's that?
Take the biscuit off
We're
here.
gonna go get biscuits, but
Are any of these wolves related, or?
Kenai and Nahani are half brother with the same
Cody.
mother, different father,
Piece of
and
cheese.
born different years, of course.
good boy.
Oh, we like cheese.
Oh, yeah.
They like pizza?
Cody loves cheese. Hey,
So
you guys,
I'll come live here if they
you
get to
want
have
these,
pizza.
Chan?
Yeah, they prefer the Colby cheese to like mozzarella or
When we drop
Colby and cheddar is good.
So Mr. Colby, if you're out there and you want to sponsor these guys or Team Reptile.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Me. He's got it.
Oh,
Quickly.
make sure it's your left hand you lose because you need your right hand to drive.
True, you're
They
right.
love cheese.
Guy,
Light may be working.
careful, those are my fingers.
Well, they haven't gotten cheese in a while, doesn't it?
Almost every day.
That just really amazes me that they like cheese. You know?
Oh, they love it.
What's a wolf's favorite food? Cheese. Yeah. Yeah, that would make a great commercial for cheese. See, rather than grants, go after sponsorships
There
like
you go.
that.
That's it, guys.
No more cheese.
Stalking the cheese. We asked Shan and Lynn what they thought about how wolves would interact with mountain lions, and it led to a very interesting discussion.
A pack of wolves is more than a match for a mountain lion, which is drawn. Nobody wants to get hurt.
Right, right,
If you get hurt, you can't hunt.
right.
So
But I mean, would they pretty much, like if a mountain lion, say, is moving into a different territory and there's a pack of wolves, that pretty much just mountain lions are going to get out of that territory, or the same, vice versa with a pack of wolves if they...
they probably wouldn't even encounter one another. The types of terrain they hunt in are usually different.
Okay.
They avoid each other.
Do they?
There are mountain lions in the same areas as wolves, and they just avoid each other. Now another wolf pack is a different story.
Oh,
The
okay.
wolves don't tolerate other. They mark out a territory. Chakota. They'll mark out
I've now
a territory.
just been bit in the butt by a wolf.
He nip you?
Just a little, just tiny. More for the shorts, it felt like, because I got the pockets to hang.
I think that's what he's
The
doing.
cargo
is-
pockets,
is
yeah. So
Investigating.
What's in
Yeah.
the
They're
pocket?
so curious.
there's nothing. Yeah, there's actually nothing in there, but the way they're open.
Pockets.
You like a head massage, don't you, big guy? Huh? Yeah.
Now I'm sorry, you were saying about the wolf packs.
Yeah, a pack will mark out its own territory,
Okay.
depending on the food sources as to how large it is. Now another pack, if it's to wander in, the existing pack will chase it away, or they've even killed other wolves. They will build a buffer zone in between territories, where, you know, you got this pack here, and then this guy comes in with his pack, and he stakes out this territory. So they'll leave a buffer zone down in between the pack territories. and they usually don't stray back and forth into the buffer zones. And the funny thing is the wild animals, the deer and such, prey animals, realize this. And so they've been known to hang out in the buffer zones in between packs. So it's kind of neat. But yeah, another pack of wolves is a threat to the existing pack's food source, and they don't tolerate it.
Okay.
A lot of times you hear about dogs being attacked, hunting dogs and such, and it's the same kind of thing. You know, they view them as competition for their food source, so that's why they go after dogs. And I know, you know, it's hard for people to understand that, but it's just the wolf is trying to exist, and he's doing what he needs to do. So.
The scariest part is how quickly that's over. Like these plot hounds are used for hunting bear.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times up here where the hunters, of course, they use the telemetry, but they're right behind the dogs on a four-wheeler. And they'll come up on the dog, and they're a few seconds behind them, and the dog is down and dead. And, you know, they see the wolf. It's kind of like a barroom brawler going up against a professional killer.
Right.
It's not funny.
No, that wasn't it at all.
A few of our Team Reptile members had now entered into the fenced-in area, and we were all becoming more and more comfortable about being close to these wolves. It wasn't too long, though, before we did get a reminder that these are wild Timberwolves we were dealing with, and not just some domesticated dogs.
Oh, somebody knew.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's the one you were kissing earlier.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hi.
Huh?
Oh.
Tina, you be good.
Whoa, whoa.
It's jumping up. No. Tina. You're okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you alright?
Biting.
Did he get you?
Cody.
Oh, he's trying
Okay.
with her hand, yeah.
It's okay. I know.
You guys are just a
It's
little nervous.
okay.
Cody.
Oh,
Careful,
fine.
Cody.
Okay, back.
Oh, man.
Back up.
The snapping of the jaws, he's getting nervous.
Doesn't like me.
No, it's not like it's just a lot of stuff going on.
Just nervous today.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What an awesome experience. I never thought I'd be that close to a wolf before. They're a beautiful, fascinating animal, and we feel so fortunate to have had this opportunity. Team Reptile would like to give a very special thanks to Shan and Len of Timberwolf Wilderness Adventures.
Brought the wolves up here. The animal.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Team Reptile Adventures.